Have you ever stood in front of a piece of art and felt like it was staring right back at you? Like it was pulling something out of you that you didn't even know was there? Well, that's how I feel every time I look at Edward Munch's The Scream. This painting is an experience, really. That figure with its hollow eyes and gaping mouth feels like it's screaming directly at me. And maybe in a way it is, because The Scream isn't just about Munch's pain, it's about our pain. It's about the moments we feel like the world is too much, when we're overwhelmed by fear, loneliness, or despair. So today on Gallery of Secrets, let's not just look at The Scream. Let's feel it. Let's dive into the mind of Edward Munch and see what this painting can really tell us about ourselves. Here's the thing about The Scream, it didn't come out of nowhere. Munch didn't just wake up one day and decide to paint that screaming figure. This painting was born from a moment so intense for the artist, so overwhelming that it stayed with him for the rest of his life. He wrote about it in his diary. I was walking along the road with two friends. The sun was setting, the sky turned blood red. I paused, feeling exhausted, and leaned on the fence. There was blood and tongues of fire above the blue-black fjord and the city. My friends walked on. I stood there trembling with anxiety. Felt a great, infinite scream pass through nature. Now can you imagine that? Standing there, watching the sky turn red, feeling like the world itself is screaming. It's not just a sunset, it's a moment of existential crisis. And that's what Munch painted. Not what he saw, but what he felt. The thing is, Munch didn't just paint this because of that one moment. This painting came from a lifetime of pain. Munch's life was hard. His mother died when he was just 5 years old. His sister Sophie, who he was really close to, died when he was 14. And it wasn't just death. Munch struggled with his mental health his whole life. He dealt with anxiety, depression, and even hallucinations. So when you're looking at The Scream, you're not just looking at a painting, you're looking at a man who's trying to make sense of his pain. And honestly, isn't that what art is for? To take things we can't put into words and give them shape or give them color. Let's get closer. Look at the sky here. Those swirling, fiery colors. It's not just a sunset, is it? It's chaos. It's a world spinning out of control. And then there's the figure, that face. It's almost like a skull, isn't it? And the hands pressed against the ears. Is it trying to block out the scream, perhaps? Or is it the one screaming? And what about those two figures in the background walking away like nothing's wrong? That's the thing about pain, isn't it? It's isolating. It makes you feel like you're the only one who's feeling it, like no one else could possibly understand. But here's what gets me. The way the whole painting feels like it's tilting, like the bridge, the sky, even the figure, it's all kind of off balance. It's like the world itself is unstable, and isn't that how it feels like when you're in the middle of a panic attack or a moment of despair? Like the ground is shifting underneath your feet. So here's where it gets really interesting. The Scream isn't just about Munch's pain, it's about something bigger. It's about the human condition. Munch was living in a time of huge change. In the late 19th century, it was all about industrialization, scientific discovery, and questioning old beliefs. People were starting to ask, what's the point of it all? Does life at all have any meaning? And that's what The Scream is about. It's not just a scream of fear, it's a scream of existential dread. It's that realization that we're tiny, fragile beings in a vast, uncaring universe. But the thing is, by painting this scream, Munch did something incredible. He took that fear, that despair, and turned it into something beautiful, something meaningful. And maybe that's kind of the point. Maybe art isn't about finding answers, it's about asking the right questions. Now, this is crazy. The Scream is over 100 years old, but it feels more relevant than ever. Think about it. We're living in a world that's constantly connected, constantly moving, and yet many of us feel disconnected, overwhelmed, and alone. That's why the Scream still resonates. It's not just a painting, it's a mirror. It shows us our fears, our anxieties, our loneliness. But it also reminds us that we're not alone in feeling this way. That's such a powerful thing about art. It connects us. It reminds us that no matter how isolated we feel, we're all part of this messy, beautiful, terrifying thing we call life. So here's my question for you. What do you see when you look at the Scream? For me, it's a reminder that it's okay to feel lost. It's okay to feel scared, because those feelings, they're part of being human. And sometimes just acknowledging them, just screaming out into the void can be its own kind of catharsis. Thanks for joining me on Gallery of Secrets. If this video made you think or feel something, let me know in the comments. What other artwork should we explore together? Till next time.